Okay, so welcome everybody. Thanks so much for being here. My name is Miguel Nunez, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys my presentation of learning for this year of service. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about why I initially decided to serve. I'm going to give some information about my site, including some accomplishments, challenges, and lessons that I learned this year. I'm going to share with you guys information about my individual development plan, the legacy of my service or what I'm leaving behind, and my plans after service. So why serve? Similar to this gentleman on the right, I was someone who was coming from academia. I was very much accustomed to learning about social problems from a very theoretical perspective. And once I graduated, it was very important to me to gain some experience in the field of public health, as well as to gain a practice-based perspective on how to best address these social problems in society. So the experience portion was definitely one of the reasons why I decided to serve. Another was for the impact. I've always been attracted to mission-driven work and feeling like my work is making a difference. And when I learned about this organization's great work in the Chicagoland area supporting the Latinx community, I really wanted to be a part of that. So the impact was definitely another reason why I decided to serve, as well as the student loan debt. Like many students, I graduated with student loan debt. And in addition to gaining experience and making a difference, I also wanted a job that would help me pay off that student loan debt. So really this position was perfect for all these three reasons, and these are some of the reasons why I decided to serve. About my site, I've been working for close to a year at Latinos Progresando. We are a nonprofit based out of Marshall Square in South Lawndale. We've been in the community for about 21 years, providing affordable immigration legal services to the local community through our work with the Marshall Square Resource Network, which is a conglomeration of nonprofits, hospitals, local schools, and other organizations in the community. We've been able to create programming that supports the education, health, and safety of the local residents. So really, for someone who's interested in public health, this has been a really great experience for me, and I've been really happy to be able to support the organization in their important work. My role as Americorps member has been to build capacity among the community outreach coordinator, the institutional partner coordinator, and upper management in the running of their daily programming, as well as in the running of their signature events. There have been many accomplishments this year, but some of them I can share with you now. The Promotoras de Salud program was definitely a highlight or an accomplishment this year for me. It was wonderful to be able to partner with Mount Sinai, Esperanza Health Clinics, and others to create this community health workshop designed specifically for the Latino community. It was really great to be a part of this program and raise consciousness about issues affecting the Latino community, like nutrition, the importance of healthy lifestyles, and the importance of vaccinating our children. It was a new experience for me facilitating this class, while my coworker Adela facilitated classes at Spry Elementary School. I facilitated 9 community health workshops at Hammond Elementary School. And I was very happy to do this. It was a great experience. And I know that many times language barriers get in the way of some of our Spanish-speaking community members being able to take advantage of the information and resources around them. So it was really great to be able to give this class in Spanish and to be able to really feel that I was part of the solution. Another major accomplishment was my contributions to the SEL program. We had already established a 101 program, but it was our first time establishing a 201 pilot program. So that was a very exciting time. We partnered with Metropolitan Family Services as well as the Chicago Botanic Garden to develop a unique horticultural therapy-based program for the local community. And I was really happy to be able to edit the curriculum, to be able to document the progress of our teams, to work closely with Metropolitan Family Services and Chicago Botanic Gardens upper management to kind of plan the logistics and how we're going to execute this important program. Definitely the team had come into the program with a real focus on the mental health benefits of horticultural therapy or taking care of plants. but I was happy to kind of give my perspective on the importance of also highlighting the professional development and the workforce development portion of this program. The idea that if participants in this program are able to develop transferable skills that can lead them to finding gainful employment once they finish participating in this program, it could definitely contribute to their financial stability, which can in turn improve not just their mental, but their overall health. So I was very happy to be able to share my perspective with this team and watch the program grow. Another major accomplishment was working with the training and service day committees. Americorps had a different committees set up for different tasks this year of service, and two of them were organizing training sessions for the rest of the Americorps cohort, as well as creating volunteer opportunities for us to serve at another organization and build capacity over there. And it was really rewarding to be able to work in those organizations and to produce high quality trainings and service day events. And the final highlight was just the United Way COVID-19 response team work that I was a part of. It was great to work under Carla and John's leadership and to be able to connect local community members to services that could help them establish a level of financial, housing, and food security, as well as to connect them to mental and behavioral health services that could help them get through this difficult time that we're in with COVID-19. There were definitely challenges this year as well. One of them was adjusting to the financial constraints of this program. The Americorps program is based off of a very modest stipend that's designed to have the Americorps member identify with the communities that they're serving. And coming from a more corporate background, I was used to making a different amount of money, maybe a little bit more money. So it was initially a struggle to kind of make ends meet. I got a link card to help me in that respect, and it was helpful. But I was really surprised at how strong of an experience it was, just using it and feeling like other people around me were like judging me or giving me looks. Like the shame that I experienced using it really made me reflect on how stigmatizing it is to be low income in Chicago. And I think that this was in addition to being a challenge, I feel like it was a real learning opportunity that I'm grateful the Americorps program was able to allow me to experience. Another challenge was just accepting realities of working in underserved communities. I've been able to really enjoy my time in the Marshall Square area, but there's definitely been a challenge in some respects as well. Marshall Square is at the border of several rival gangs, and gang violence is unfortunately a reality in this community. And just having to leave from some of our signature events late at night and worrying about my safety has definitely been something that I didn't really anticipate kind of entering this position. We have a very supportive team, so we walk each other to each other's cars and we're very supportive, but at the same time, just hearing stories of, oh, this little girl yesterday was shot and killed right here on this street where we're walking. You know, it was jarring at first, but it made me reflect on how, if I'm gonna help people where they need it most, these are some of the challenges that these communities are gonna be experiencing. Another challenge was just multitasking. I had a lot of things to do with United Way as well as Latinos Progresando. And in addition to presenting quality work, I wanted to make sure that I was meeting the deadlines of my upper management. And the COVID-19, of course, the pandemic has definitely impacted my mental health, and that's been a challenge, but it's been also a blessing to have a source of income during a pandemic right now, and to be able to work from home safely such that I'm not exposed to getting sick. So really, there's been a lot of positives as well. From my Americorps cohort, I learned more about myself. Specifically, I learned about my work ethic. I learned that my word is my honor, and when I make public commitments to doing something that's very important to me, and I feel very bad if I don't follow through with that. I also learned that my thoughts are a flag to me, and despite being someone who considers themselves shy, I definitely have very strong convictions, and I have a really assertive, strong personality that comes out when I'm working on the teams that I'm a part of. So it's been nice to get to know this side of me as well. I also learned that being right doesn't give me the right. So just because I have an excellent idea that I'm certain is the best course of action moving forward, that doesn't give me the right to impose my will on the rest of my team. I believe in a consensus-based model of decision-making, and I think that each member of the team has an important voice that has to be represented in the decision-making process. So these are things that I was able to learn after reflecting on not just my behavior, but the behavior of some of my coworkers. And And I also learned that I can connect easily with community members if I just focus on our shared humanity, on the fact that we all basically want the same things. We want to be in a place where we feel we are respected. We want to feel that we are safe. We want to live in a great nation where our children can go to quality schools and learn and grow freely. And as long as I focus on this element of shared humanity, it really takes away the edge off of speaking to a principal, a CEO, a pastor, a business owner, or whomever. I also learned not to take things personally. On some of the teams that I work with, sometimes there were issues, of course, following through with certain work assignments or in communication, but I learned not to take things personally. It's never really been about me. If other members of my team behave differently, that's just a reflection of the fact that our work ethic is different. I also learned from United Way the importance of code switching. Like this diamond, I too am multifaceted, and there's many different sides to my personality. There's the gregarious, social, charming Miguel. There's a very quiet, professional, observant, prudent Miguel. There's the proud Colombian American Spanish-speaking Miguel. So it's just a matter of knowing my audience and knowing which side of myself to bring out to best meet whatever professional situation that I'm in. Another thing that I learned was the importance of the locus of control and not worrying so much about things outside of my control, like the COVID-19 pandemic or the behavior of others or the weather. If I can only control my behavior, that's the only thing that I really should be worrying about. I also learned the importance of leadership. It's very difficult because you have to be comfortable in the uncomfortable and you have to be willing to be disliked. There were some times with some of my team members that we had disagreements, but we were able to talk it out and they completely improved and did a great job the rest of the year of service. And there were other people who we really didn't see eye to eye, and that really stressed me out for some time. But at the same time, I learned that at the end of the day, not everybody's going to agree with my leadership style. Not everybody's going to appreciate being held accountable or receiving constructive feedback. And being a good leader is not about being liked by everybody. It's about making sure that you're producing quality work and meeting the deadlines of your upper management. I served on the member-led training committee as well as the service day committees, and some takeaways were to establish group expectations from the beginning, to acknowledge team members who did a good job, and to communicate regularly with my team. I had the goal of getting 3 CEUs by July 2020, as well as to learn a new language by July 2020. And I did manage to do those. I got an awesome CEU from Mujeres Latinas en Acción for a financial abuse seminar or training that they did. I also am getting 2 from United Way for a grant writing workshop that they had, as well as a youth engagement workshop. And I've been able to learn introductory Japanese, so I've been very proud to be able to accomplish some of those goals in my individual development plan. In the process, I learned that I will progress on my own pace, and I really gained nothing from comparing my progress to the progress of others. I learned to trust myself because self-doubt can really be an impediment to leading a group. I also learned to control my emotions at work such that I'm not getting so stressed out as to having a breakdown or just freaking out, but I'm also not so unstressed that I don't care about the quality of my work or about meeting the deadlines of my upper management. My legacy, I'm leaving behind a great team and a great role, but I'm leaving confident in the fact that I've made a difference in the lives of these community members, that have been a support to the teams that I've been a part of, and that I've been able to see this role and these organizations grow. After Americorps, my plan is to pursue a master's in public health at UIC. I really hope that getting this higher education will open some career doors and some opportunities for me to grow as a public health professional. So today we discussed why I decided to serve. I shared with you some information about my side, including accomplishments, challenges, and lessons that I learned. I talked to you guys about my individual development plan as well as the legacy of my service and my plans after service. And I just wanted to say, thank you to all my Americorps cohort members. Thank you to all the neighborhood network professionals that I've been able to meet and collaborate with. And of course, thank you to Latinos Progresando and all my coworkers there, as well as United Way and the wonderful teams that I've been a part of. So thank you so much, everyone. And if you guys have any questions, I'm all ears.
Yes, feel free to use the chat or unmute yourself and ask your questions or provide comments.
Miguel, you mentioned that you learned a little bit of Japanese, introductory Japanese. Would you mind sharing with us just a little bit?
Sure thing. I can say, Hajimemashite, watashi wa Miguel desu. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Which means, hello, nice to meet you. My name is Miguel.
That's good. That's good. You're doing much better than Miguel.
Ya sabes, cuando quieras, practico contigo. Because you're learning Spanish.
Anyone else have? Oh, let me check the chat here.
I'll throw a question out there.
Okay.
First off, great job, Miguel. That was really awesome. Fabulous as usual. And I just wanted to know, you mentioned how you discovered these different sides of Miguel and like when to bring that out. I'm curious, did you discover anything new about yourself or a side that maybe like hadn't come out before?
Well, yeah, definitely. Kind of like I mentioned earlier, I feel like I'm someone who's very agreeable, and I feel like I'm someone who's very shy and reserved for the most part. But they say if you really want to get to know somebody, observe them when they're stressed. And sometimes in the work that I was doing, you know, I would get so stressed that I would forget about like my shy and reserved persona, and this really strong leader, kind of really dominant, assertive, decisive kind of lion would come out. And just because you know, there were things that needed to be done and I didn't have really time to think. And it was nice to get to know this really strong, dominant side of myself. Just kind of like having an out-of-body experience and thinking, whoa, you know, I was very decisive and I was very strong in that situation, and I think I handled it well. Just being able to reflect on my behavior was kind of nice. It was nice to get to know myself better in that respect.
So this is Marcy. I don't really have a question for Miguel, but I just wanted to say that, you know what, we are very grateful for the time that you were with us, Miguel. There were so many things that, you know, any neighborhood network has on their shoulders to help with the huge responsibility in providing for our community members and partner agencies. And I, you know, would just like to say that you did a fabulous job, Miguel. I think that we were very fortunate to have you with us, and, you know, to continue, obviously, to have you be part of the organization, you know, because we always say that once you are connected to the organization, you never leave. Even if you want to, you just don't ever leave. So, you know, I think that, you know, it was a privilege to have you be part of the great work that, you know, everyone involved in the success of the network and the organization has been doing. So thank you very much for your year of service.
Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to hear that, and it was a pleasure for me, and I definitely look forward to volunteering with the organization and kind of seeing the next MEX Talks events and the next Peace March and being able to contribute in some respect. It's been a pleasure for me too, and thank you so much for those kind words.
Of course.
Miguel, I have a question for you. What was your biggest takeaway from your year of service? And if you were to talk to your day one self of your year of service, what would you tell him?
Maybe my biggest takeaway, that's a very good question. just the challenge, like how emotional this process can be, giving so much of yourself to such a higher cause and wanting to be part of these initiatives to improve the quality of life of local residents. It can really take a toll on you, as well as be an amazing, really rewarding experience. So maybe an advice that I would give to me coming into it would be to make sure that I'm taking the best care of myself possible so that I can better serve the communities that I'm working in. At times with the dynamic nature of nonprofit work, you know, there's so much to be done and your own mental and overall health can really take the back burner. But I think that in order to be able to fill other people's cup, and sustain that level of engagement and service, you have to make sure that your cup is full to begin with. So that's definitely something that I would tell myself if I were able to do the time lapse.
Are there any other questions or comments for Miguel? All right. I take silence as do I hear a voice? Okay. I take silence as congratulations on a job well done. You are in the final days, weeks of completing your service. And thank you for sharing what you learned during your year of service. And now that we are complete with Miguel's presentation, our next presentation will start at 10:30 with Michelle Foster.